Now we will see a 3D meshing. So we have the flow over a cylinder problem. This geometry we have developed earlier. So here you can see the fluid domain and your cylinder. So if you go to workbench, the geometry is done. You have to mesh it. So click meshing and it will take you to ANSYS meshing module. So here you can see your geometry is exported into the meshing module, and here you have the option. As we discussed earlier, we will keep tetrahedron pitch conforming, so select OK. So now with this pitch conforming method, with the default setting, we will update our mesh, or we will right click and we will generate our mesh with all of its detail, and ANSYS Fluent will try to mesh it. And here is your mesh, a default mesh. As you can see, if you go to wireframe, you can see inside the cylinder wall, this is just a wall. So this mesh is developed with the default algorithm of ANSYS mesh module. If you go to solid frame and if you select normal, and you can cut this plane by this new section plane, you cut this plane here, and here you can see the elements, and here you can see this is a void space, just the wall. So you can regain your previous view from here. So now this is a unstructured mesh with how many nodes we don't know, but we can go here statistics and we can see right now it's 19,000 nodes and 107,000 elements. So if we want to change, or if you want to increase the number of elements, you can go to sizing, change this relevance center from coarse to fine, and update. It will update your geometry and your meshing. Now you can see the mesh elements are quite small, and your node is increased from 19,000 to 52,000, and your elements increased from 107,000 to 291,000. But this is unstructured elements. If you want structured mesh elements, you can go to mapped face meshing option. You can select the faces, the 6 faces, apply, and then update, and then your unstructured mesh will change it to structured face meshing. Here you can see a very smooth structured elements, and inside this fluid domain, if you go to wireframe, you have your cylinder, but your cylinder is not structured. So you can also make your cylinder surface to a structured mesh element. How you can do that? So first you have to select your cylinder. So if you go to solid body, you can only select this outer surface. So there is no way you can select the cylinder, but there is a tricky way. You can select the inside surface, as you can see. So go to wireframe and see very closely. So if I take this cursor here this cursor is reflecting this face and this face. If we keep our cursor here and select this, that means we want to select either this face or that face, right? So how we gonna select the face behind this face? If you look very closely here, you have two planes. This plane is red and this plane is black. So if you see very closely right now, if you move your cursor, it will show you which plane right now it's selected. The red one is right now this plane, and this black one is the bottom plane, behind plane. So if you select this, it will select that plane. So you can easily select this. Let's say if we keep our cursor here, right now this one and this one is the bottom face, you can see. So with this technique, we can easily select the cylinder inside the geometry. All we have to do, we have to take our cursor at the top of the cylinder and we have to select this. So if we select this, right now you have three planes, see? If you select here, you have only two planes. But if you select at the top of the cylinder, you have three planes. So the first plane is this plane. Obviously the third plane will be that plane, and the middle plane will be our cylinder. So if we select the middle plane and if we zoom, you can see easily this is the cylinder surface and it's been selected. So now it's been selected, and you go to the mesh control and mapped face mesh. Now it's selected and you can update, and it will update the mesh of your cylinder surface. If you see, now you have a very smooth and very regular structured mesh elements. So this is the way you can mesh your 3D domain. You can mesh each edge, you can mesh each face. When you want to mesh each edge, you select the edge selection tool and select these edges and go to sizing. If you want face, select this face selection tool and select the face and go to sizing. So these are the way you can mesh your 2D and 3D geometries, and you can also change the number of elements inside the geometry. In the next tutorial, we will learn what is inflation layer and how to define different boundaries. Thank you.